2026大戏开局，独裁国家排队倒台，中共将如何收场？占卜师算出关键日期是2月4号。帕克最新预言竟和泰国布莱高度一致，全部指向台湾。美国预言家更是公开了年度大地震名单，台湾竟不在其中。Hello， 大家好，我是奇文。这跨年前后大家有无发现，关于这2026年的预言在这个网络上可谓集中爆发，多到让咱们这个网友们看的是眼花缭乱。那有意思的是，这预言家们的话音还未落，这2026年的大戏就上演了。你看美国政府出其不意地端掉了委内瑞拉的老巢，并活捉了独裁者马杜罗。而现在呢，他的盟友独裁国家们都在瑟瑟发抖，其中就有这个伊朗。去年的12月底著名的预言家帕克先生在这个节目中就提到。
In my recent predictions, I've been saying I feel there's going to be an Iranian revolution. This is something that I've been speaking about for a long time in Iran. This is one of the big ones. I'm just talking about the really big stuff now. I've also said for a long time that there would be something that would trigger war, which would be like an accidental clash of some sort, either an aviation clash or a submarine accident of some sort, like two submarines hitting each other or something like that, that triggers a particular difficult period with war.
结果是不到这6天的时间，这一预言就在委内瑞拉实现了。那么接下来，在这个委内瑞拉事件的刺激下，伊朗它是否会真如帕克所预言的那样，从这个抗议升级为革命性的动荡呢？那大家要拭目以待了。其实在这个委内瑞拉这件事上我想咱们大家最关心的还是这个独裁集团的坚定盟友中共了。那他呢会怎么反应呢？他接下来又会往哪儿走呢？不过最耐人寻味的是，帕克先生在谈完伊朗之后呢，他又把这个话题拉回到了中国，而且不只是他，许多以高命中率著称的预言家们都不约而同地提到了中国的未来。那关于中国呢，帕克先生首先提到的关键词是气体云灾难。一直看咱们节目的朋友应该都还记得帕克早在2023和2024年呢，就多次提到过这场气体云灾难。而这次呢，帕克先生又提到了。
Be like an accidental clash of some sort, either an aviation clash or a submarine accident of some sort, like two submarines hitting each other or something like that, that triggers a particular difficult period with war, which I am seeing as being the war over Taiwan, which Japan will get drawn into. If you look past at my earlier predictions, I talk about this a lot, and this will be at a point which will be very catastrophic for China too, because there will be also an economic decline within China, and I've spoken also about there would be a catastrophic type of event, possibly it involves a gas cloud of some sort.
简单总结一下这个帕克的预言，它就是说一种类似气体云的灾难呢，会成为某个区域战争的导火索，而这个区域覆盖的是台湾、中国和日本。去年年底我曾跟大家分享了这个泰国预言家普莱的预言，那他就有提到说2026年会发生一起可怕的空难，并提醒咱们大家在2026年的上半年避开前往以 HJT 开头的国家。那帕克先生预言的这个气体云灾难主要是发生在台湾、中国、日本，并且也可能导致一场空难。如果这么一对应的话咱们或许能大胆的猜测一下 HJT 3个字母代表的很可能是香港、日本和台湾。而这场气体云究竟是什么？那帕克也在这个节目中提到了。
How I was told when I went to India about this gas cloud that I would warn the world about. Now, this could be something like a volcanic eruption, or it could be an industrial thing, or whatever. But my feeling was it's probably something underwater, and it's a volcanic. But others have actually spoken about it as possibly being, and we thought about the idea, could this be perhaps a secret weapons test that goes wrong? Something creates a gas cloud. And my feeling is that gas cloud is linked with the East somehow. And this would be sort of part of the triggering mechanism that we will see that will cause many of the problems that are happening or will happen in China. Now, whether this happens this year or not, I think these are the main predictions I've been seeing that are part of the world events, and timing it is very hard.
除此之外呢，帕克先生还提到了另一个关键词：网络攻击。
I also have been talking about a massive cyber attack that is going to create chaos in the world. And I've also talked about that would trigger an economic crash, which would particularly hit China. And with the demise of the Chinese economy and the disruption and fall of the Chinese economy, so with it comes the fall of Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party. And I've spoken also about the importance of how this will affect the world, and out of this something new will come, a revision of the way China is built and structured, and how it will become like multiple countries, which will become a combined and good force for good, with democracy becoming much more dominant in those a bit like a European type of setup where people trade with open borders.
这听上去是不是有点复杂呢？简单来说就是一场网络攻击冲垮了这中共政权。那接着呢，一个真正的全新的中国会诞生，新的政治构架与这个欧盟类似，中国贸易将获得真正的自由。但是呢，这呢还没完，帕克先生呢又继续说道。
But so with it comes an economic crash, and I feel it. These are all things that are perhaps we're going to start to see the advent of these things in 2026.
那最后帕克先生总结说
It's not the full-blown thing, but we're going to be talking about this in the years to come, up until 2030, which is another important turning point. So this is a year of reckoning when many lies will be exposed to, particularly in 2026. This is going to be a time where lots of court cases, lots of exposures. We've already.
与此同时呢，这少年预言家安南德又突然回归了。2020年呢，他因为精准预言这个新冠疫情而走红，而在2026的跨年呢，他抛出了惊人预言，说2026年的关键词是恐怖袭击。
However, for 2026, I see a certain twist. There's going to be some major geopolitical risk, especially in northwestern China. It's been over a decade since there has been any significant tension there from the Uyghur community, and we can see. I'm quite. I believe there's a very strong likelihood of major problems for China, including the possibility of a terrorist incident in the country, the northwestern side or the northeastern side.
那过去的一段时间阿南德一直是在这个莫斯科专注研究2026年的星象，但最终呢，他得出了这样一个不安的结论。
2026 is going to be a very unique year. Because just like 2025, 2020, 2022, it is in a new era for the world. I've been talking about this new era for quite some time. It's a once in 4 centuries moment that we are living through at the moment. So
另外安南德还有提到，这恐怖袭击不只会发生在中国，还会发生在其他国家。
The other area for risk is Philippines for 2026 and South and especially North Korea. But the ramifications of the negative event that I believe can happen in North Korea will also extend to other parts of the free world. So one needs to be very careful, especially if you're living around Korea, the Korean Peninsula.
而这个恐怖袭击的事件发生的时间点呢，安南德也做出了预测。
It's going to be around April 2026 in the second half, and the first 9 days and the last 10 days approximately, just after the 24th of July, around the 24th of July, as well as the around mid-November 2026. These are certain time frames where
除了这个恐怖袭击之外，安南德还有提到其他重大灾难的风险将集中在4月、7月和11月这3个月必须高度警惕。另外就是来自洛杉矶的灵媒朱迪海文利， 大家知道哈，他曾准确的预测川普遇刺以及俄乌战争的爆发。而在谈到这个2026年的预言时呢，他首先点名的就是台海。那朱迪在这个预言书2026 Psychic Predictions 中提到哈，2026的台海局势呢会维持一种惊险但稳定的危险平衡。他预测说，2026年的中国不会直接发动全面战争，但军事施压呢将持续升级。中共的解放军空军和海军将更频繁地出现在台湾周边海空域通过这个高密度的巡航和演练呢，反复测试台湾的防御能力，但不会越过引爆战争的红线。要从这个目前的情况来看这项预言其实它已经应验了一半为什么呢？你看这跨年期间呢，中共已通过这个多轮环台军演持续试探并将这个行动命名为正义使命2025。但讽刺的是，这场为了展示其军事实力进行军事威慑的这个行动并没有达到目的，也没有切断美国和台湾的军事合作。那结果还产生了适得其反的效果，让这个台湾加速了第一岛链防御体系升级，变得更难打了。接着朱迪又提到了中国内政。尽管台海不会越过红线，但朱迪认为2026年中共内政可不会如此稳定。他预测说，习近平将因这个中共内部权力斗争和健康因素呢，逐步减少这个公开露面，把具体的事务交给最信任的亲信来处理，重要决策呢更多是通过书面方式来完成，会议将明显减少。更关键的是朱迪认为，习近平与这个中共权力核心圈成员政治局常委蔡奇呢，将在这个2027年21大前呢，因这个年龄因素调整职务或退位。而在他们离开之后呢，未来的接班人是有深厚红色政权背景的官二代。那朱迪特别提到了这个胡锦涛的儿子胡海峰，认为他会被推到非常重要的位置上。那巧合的是呢，帕克也提到了这个纳迪体系中对这个中国内部局势的预言。
And that the authorities in China know this, and people are waiting in the wings, ready for him to go so we can jump in. I mean, what was all that sort of talk that he had with Putin about we can get heart transplants and organ transplants and things like that? So this is a really major time with that, which I think is perhaps that's why we're getting this, and why the Chinese feel that this is also not a good time with the idea of the red horse. And it also says in there that some good souls will help to minimize these problems. And I think this is important too, because
不过这最有意思的是就是朱迪和帕克他们都不约而同地提到了外星元年的预言。在这个2026 Psychic Predictions 的这本书中朱迪写道，会有某种神秘飞行器在2020年来到地球。他看到这样一个画面，绿色光体在海面下移动，还有很多不明物体出现在空中、海里甚至太空中，而这些不明物体绝不是军机、民航飞机，更不是自然现象。更炸裂的是，外星飞行物的出现并不会让各国的政府感到震惊，因为他们早已经知情，只是一直未公开，或者他们一直在等待合适的公开时机。而帕克先生也从4位资深的纳迪脉络解读师那里呢，得到了一幅2020年的关键画面。
Many more beings and aliens have been coming and going. As they are far advanced in technology, their movements cannot be caught immediately by the technical improvements of the human beings on the Earth. Satellites which are roaming above the Earth are not capable of capturing their images and movements on the Earth. They move as fast as the speed of light, and the technology of the Earth is too tiny even to understand who aliens are. No government will accept and announce this truth, as they are totally frightened and ashamed. People on the Earth are unable to use their technology because they are far advanced, and even a bit of technology they never reveal.
那么呢，咱们再回到朱迪最后留下的一个预言这也是他所有的预言中最具体的一条大地震。朱迪呢列出了一份重量级的地震名单，上面写着 全球多地可能发生6至7.2级甚至更强烈的地震。被点名的地区包括有纽约、旧金山、西雅图、洛杉矶、阿拉斯加以及东京、墨西哥、菲律宾、新西兰等。那在列出这些名单之后呢，朱迪又单独提到了台湾。他表示说台湾虽然它不在这个地震名单中但不代表台湾是安全的。台湾真正的风险呢不在陆地，而在海洋。例如强烈的飓风侵袭台湾，可能造成重大灾害。而就在跨年期间呢，中国多地又出现了奇异现象，多个省份的长期干涸的泉眼呢，突然又涌出了活水来看一下咱们网友在这个现场拍摄的视频。
跨过去。世界到底怎么了？全国的泉眼约好了吗？集体复活，北京81处温泉突然喷涌，保定一亩泉断流半世纪，竟一夜重生。邢台百泉奔腾如雷，郑州暖泉喷涌成溪。更震撼的还在后头，门头沟一眼干涸40年的老泉同步苏醒，天津永定河生态补水仅3天，30年枯泉扎堆醒来。这还没完，邢台百泉水域狂阔近1000亩，直接带火整个片区。郑州贾鲁河暖泉每小时喷涌上百吨，30摄氏度温水。老人蹲在泉边直掉眼泪，单日打卡突破5000人。有网友炸锅，全国温泉集体复活，这波泉水复活究竟是奇迹还是警钟？
在中国的古代传统的地震观测中，泉水突然涌动常与这个地震动物反常并列，被视为地震的前兆。史料记载，1551年安南卫，也就是如今越南北部红河流域地震之前呢，曾经就出现过这个泉水复涌。比较近的是1976年这个唐山大地震之前，唐山呢及周边地区也发生过这个水温升高泉水冒泡和喷涌等这种异常现象。因此就这个观点认为2026年太行山脉附近存在发生大地震的风险。说到这儿肯定会有朋友问了，哎呀，希文你说了一大堆啰嗦了一大堆，那2026中国到底会发生的事情，还是没说到中共的结局是什么呀？那接下来呢，启文就继续和大家分享在上期节目中提到的那位 YouTube 博主吉利小师妹的这个周易卦象。卦象显示呢，说中共已经走到了无法回头的阶段，崩溃呢将从基层开始，向制度和权力核心层层推进，最终呢指向掌权者，而结局呢不只是下台，而是清算。表面看呢，中共政权仍显强势，党魁大权在握，但这个内部早已是离心离德，不少下属阳奉阴违，一旦时机成熟呢，造反的可能性高，尤其是2月4号正式进入丙午年后。那最终习近平将同时承受政变风险与这个健康崩溃的双重压力，这个呢就与帕克和朱迪的预言几乎呼应上了。那所以咱们接下来要做的就是持续传播真相，静观中南海的这场终极博弈。好了，说完了。如果大家喜欢奇文的节目呢，就请点赞、订阅、转发，也算是鼓励下奇文。那我们就下次节目